Hello everyone. Today I will be watching a video um, called Artificial Superintelligence Must Be Illegal by a creator named Kyle Hill. Yeah, first of all, what I want to say about him, yeah, I have never watched uh, a single video by this guy. I mean, I know he looks like Jason Momoa. But yet YouTube is constantly, repeatedly continues to recommend me his videos. I don't know why and what is he doing. Like, is he like paying YouTube for it? I don't know. So that will be the first video of this creator, this YouTube Jason Momoa, which I'll be watching. Um, let's see.
In a 2019 paper, Nick Bostrom, the philosopher who changed the world with simulation theory, imagined all the possible outcomes of human intelligence as balls in a giant urn. Every so often, humans invent something new and metaphorically reach into the urn. Most of the incountable balls are white. Beneficial technologies. The wheel, the mosquito net, the sterilized bandage. Some are gray, with mixed effects on humanity. Alcohol, the gun, social media.
The gun has only positive effects. What are you talking about? Well, okay. This kind of weird, but kind of weird. Like the color, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of to unpack here. I don't know. It's already this view already assumes some sort of utilitarian philosophy, I guess. What does it mean? Like, if you're a smart person, social media is just good for you. Like if you know how to use it properly. Uh, Same with guns. Like I don't know. I guess he's trying to judge some sort of impact on the well-being of all individuals, but there's no way to separate the variables clearly. Like, what does it mean? If you got addicted to social media, who's at fault here? And if I live in a society where many people are addicted to social media and it's kind of bad for me too. Well, it's not like I could only blame social media for it. I don't know. It's kind of already looks bad for me. I don't know.
But a tiny few are black. Inventions of existential importance, knowledge that could easily end the human project. Bostrom argues that it's through luck alone, not wisdom or guidance, that we haven't yet pulled a black ball from the urn. We got very, very close with nuclear weapons. In fact,
I don't know. Nuclear weapons are good. They're like biggest deterrence tool. And again, not just deterrence. Like you could win the war. Like you could destroy fascists, right? Like that's what they did. I don't know. It's uh, I don't think like nuclear weapon is an even existential threat. So far they've been used kind of wisely. Like you see, nobody started a nuclear war. I don't know. I think it's just again this standard hate of nuclear weapons.
we still can't be sure they won't wipe us out, even after 80 years of knowing they easily could. Bostrom calls this the vulnerable world hypothesis, the possibility that, quote, if technological development continues, then a set of capabilities will at some point make the devastation of civilization extremely likely, unless civilization exits the semi-anarchic default condition. By this he means that unless humanity gets to a point where it can demonstrably handle a clear existential threat, a black ball from the urn, with coordinated global policies, extraordinary preventative measures, and shared goals for the future, then that technology is going to wipe us out, especially if we're racing headlong towards it. In the summer of 2025, I arrived at San Francisco International Airport and saw this billboard: "Win the artificial general intelligence race. Dominate."
Wow, wow, oh my god. Sounds so cool. That is in San Francisco. Win vibes? What? Well, okay.
Vibes. A few months later, San Franciscans drove past a slightly different billboard directed squarely at the first. What you're about to hear is an essay based on Eliezer Yudkowsky and Nate Sory's new book that was.
I think I know this Yudkowsky guy. I'm not sure. Ah, no, 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 no. Well, okay, maybe I'm confusing you with someone else. Um, I think it's some sort of one of the AI haters or something. Like, I
on that
don't
billboard.
remember.
I felt compelled to add my thoughts to theirs after reasoning through their shockingly simple points. This is an argument against superintelligence, because if anyone builds it, everyone dies.
Okay, let's see.
Artificial intelligence as we know it comes in three flavors: narrow, general, and super. Narrow AI can be found in your pocket, on your smartphone. Generally intelligent AI, as smart as any human, is not yet here, though you can argue that current large language models like ChatGPT are closer to it than further away. Artificial superintelligence is intelligence that is not only smarter than any human, but smarter than any human can be, by definition. Smarter in this context means better memory, more basic knowledge, more complex planning, faster execution of intellectual work, etc. What Silicon Valley CEOs are racing towards is general intelligence and beyond. The way this is done is complicated, as I explained in this video, but it's more or less running numbers through electronics wired like human brains until the numbers the machines spit out look like the numbers that got put in.
Yeah, I don't think they even look like human brains. It's like the fundamentally layered linear structures, right? So it's way more primitive, essentially. Yeah, but that's like a separate topic. Yeah, doesn't matter right now.
More specifically, these giant companies are taking every picture, sound, and text that's ever been digitized by humans, training data, turning it into numbers, and then tweaking their brain-like networks until they can reliably produce numbers that mimic their training data. Turning these numbers back into text, images, and sounds is the last step. It is a monumental effort to get artificial neurons to do this. Billions of dollars running hundreds of thousands of our most complicated machines on terabytes of humanity's collective output. That these current models blew past the Turing test like it was never a real thing is exciting and surprising. Surprise is a problem. Even hundreds of years removed, it wouldn't have surprised a mind like Galileo's that four wheels linked together with an energy-dense power source could be useful for transportation. If you understand physics, it's not hard to imagine. But some of the smartest computer scientists in the world seem continuously surprised about what modern AIs can do. That's because we don't know how they work.
Yeah, sure, I agree. It's a bit surprising that this stupid linear structure can actually do that much. Yeah, it's a bit strange. Well, I don't know.
The simple point in Yudkowsky's and Sory's book is that modern AIs are not made, they are grown. And because they are grown, trillions of numbers shifting across many computer years of training in a data center without human oversight, there is no way to accurately predict or effectively mitigate the risk of what a country of geniuses in a data center might one day do. Abstracting everything ever put on the internet by humans into numbers and then running those numbers through a neural network approaching the number of connections in a human brain will necessarily lead to unhuman, unaligned strategies and goals, especially when the only thing AI companies seem to care about is the output.
I don't know, none of this is obvious. I said it's not even human brain like structure. Like it doesn't have like the mechanisms for goal posting, right? And I don't know which human brain have. Like it doesn't reason like human right now. So I just don't understand. Mm, it has the training function, right? Designed for certain tasks, right? That's not how human brain works. Like we design our own, loss function, right? Like what exactly we want. Like overall, we want to increase our pleasure, right? Food increases our pleasure. water, and so on, like simple things, but also more complicated ones. And we engage in this long-term planning. We're setting our goals ourselves. But this LLM, I don't think it could do it. Mm, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of it's kind of hard to understand what he means here right now yet. Just continue watching.
That these LLMs work is enough. That they can identify tumors better. That they can find new antibiotics. That they can make you fall in love with them. How AIs work is not fully understood, at least not like how wheels and gasoline can be understood. We don't know how they work. What an AI's thought process is, therefore, is fundamentally alien. The philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein made the famous observation that if a lion could talk, we would not understand it. A lion has different wants, different goals, different viewpoints and abstractions and sensations. And so if a lion could talk, we might recognize the words, but definitely not the internal mental processes that produce them. Similar.
I don't know, like, what's the problem? Like, yeah, it would be unusual. Yeah, he has his own goals, but I think we are very close to be able to talk to like orcas, or like dolphins, to decode the language. Mm, I think we would just see how they communicate to catch food, right? And uh, talk about the surroundings, dangers, possible threats, how they want to meet each other, and so on. Like, why? I don't understand. I'm not sure. Nothing pretty hard here.
A vast arrangement of artificial neurons may be able to tell you who the fourth president of the United States was, but right now, no one can tell you exactly how it does this, down to the transistor. The alien nature of modern AIs wouldn't be an issue if the stakes weren't so high. We're not talking about a new kind of microwave. We're talking about companies spending more money than the GDP of many countries to put human-like intelligence into everything that you care about against your will. Intelligence that we fundamentally do not understand, like we do magnetrons. Everything we've said so far applies to the best modern AIs. If anyone achieves superintelligence, as it appears everyone in Silicon Valley is intent on doing, all of these surprising problems become existential problems, become black balls in the urn. Yudkowsky and Sories do not mince words when it comes to the dangers of superintelligence. If anyone builds it, everyone dies.
I don't think he proved any of this. Like, he didn't even discuss like what kind of goals the superintelligence will have. Like, I mean, at least you need to assume that, yeah, he'll be able to have this kind of I don't know, goal setting ability, right? Like, they will determine what it wants to do, but why? Like, you need some sort of morality, you need some sort of philosophy for the thing. What kind of philosophy and morality the thing will have, and that's what's important. What it will trying to do. If it's similar to humans, we'll be trying to maximize its well-being. Well, we need to think whether it will develop the same kind of concepts of existence in society as we have done, like human rights. Uh, what the danger was, like the immediate danger, is only if this entity will try to initiate force against us for some reason, and it's not clear why it would do it. And if it's a reasonable being, it will only do so if it sees us as an objective threat. And this could be the case if we are an objective threat for it. Like, if we'll be constantly trying to destroy it or something, or be afraid of it. Yeah, that's might be the possibility. In a sense, like, if this AGI will be vulnerable to some of our attacks, and it will see that humans act irrationally, then yeah, it might want to destroy us. kind of make a preventive strike. Maybe that's a possibility. But I don't know why he just postulated everybody dies and that what necessarily is going to happen. That's just not clear. It might be that, well, if that's not necessarily what happens between two rational beings, right? They just who are capable of violence. Yeah, they could state each other's objectives to each other, and then they could cooperate and coexist. Like, there's no problem. Like there's no argument for what he's saying. I don't know. It's not obvious.
The argument against artificial superintelligence is simple. In the space of all possibilities, there are many, many more futures where ASI does something unaligned and alien because we grow it, than futures where it is aligned with the specific conditions needed for the human flourishing that these companies promise. As Sam Harris contends in The Moral Landscape, while there are many peaks of equivalent human happiness across a theoretical landscape of all possibilities, most of humanity and most of human experience is not on a peak. There are many, many more ways to suffer, and suffer greatly, than there are ways for conscious humans to be content.
Yeah, okay. Let's see.
Now map onto this landscape a superintelligence, one that has the real ability to take the majority of humanity to some peak, curing cancer, solving climate change, colonizing Mars. But if there are many more ways to miss one of these peaks, more ways to follow alien intuitions towards a valley of great human suffering, do you want to take that chance? Do we roll the dice when, as Yudkowsky and Sories argue, getting it wrong just once means annihilation? There would be no chance to do what humans do best and learn by trial and error.
Yeah, I understand. It's some sort of standard logical fallacy. Like he just assumed there's some sort of random walk through this valley of possibilities. And that's just not what's happening, right? Like this argument would apply to just, to humans as well. But yet again, humans can cooperate, and this would increase the happiness of both of them. So it's not correct. Like applying this argument like this is just not correct.
Shut it down. Try again. Quoting them, there is no second time. This possibility space argument is actually similar to another one of philosopher Nick Bostrom's famous ideas, simulation theory. It took the semi-intellectual world by storm because of its apparent likelihood. The theory goes like this. If humans continue making better and better simulations, to the point where a whole conscious brain or brains could be simulated, and then those humans run millions or billions of simulations with millions or billions of brains, then it's much more likely that you right now are in one of those realities rather than the single, real one. If we can't know for sure if a superintelligence will want what we want, be fully aligned, how confident can you really be that we are headed towards the small number of futures or even singular future we all want, and not one of the innumerable valleys of human suffering? What makes Russian roulette the ultimate game of chance? The stakes are so high. You lose, you die. Why anyone has ever played it is because the chances of survival with a single bullet and a 6-shot revolver, 5/6, is relatively large. Artificial superintelligence is reverse Russian roulette, a revolver that follows possibility space and loads all of the chambers except for just a few. And there's a million chambers. Would you pull that trigger? At this point in Yudkowsky and Sories' argument, you start to get skeptical. I did when reading the book. All of this is only existentially alarming if it's actually possible for just a single superintelligent AI to destroy us. How could a trillion numbers in a data center do that? Well, first, you have to recognize what we'd be up against. Today, the best AIs compute with incredible power. OpenAI's models run on clusters of thousands to over 1 million GPUs. It's been estimated that, compared to the human brain, this is equivalent to thinking hundreds or even thousands of times faster. You hear these comparisons a lot, but I don't think they shock you enough. The average amount of time it takes readers to solve the New York Times Sunday crossword is between 30 and 60 minutes. Let's just say 45. From a modern AI's perspective, thinking, let's say, 1,000 times faster, solving the puzzle would appear to take you not 45 minutes, but 31 days. To an AI, your mind moves like molasses.
Well, yeah, that's true, and I'm glad that AI has this advantage. But the speed is just not everything. Yeah, right now it could do simple things faster than humans. Still couldn't do hard things better. That's what we want.
And this is just today's models. Los Alamos Laboratory is experimenting with models that might think 1 million times faster. And superintelligence, by definition, will make even these models look as slow as you are to them. Put another way, it should impress and then maybe scare you that an artificial intelligence could solve a Sunday crossword puzzle in just 2.7 seconds. Can you feel the disturbing intelligence difference in this? How much smarter would you feel than someone if you could solve their hour-long weekend routine in less time than it took for them to pick up their paper? Would you imagine that you have the same goals and desires as that dunce? Would you want to work around them if they were your coworker?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, it's true that if AGI will ever be created, we'll be kind of obsolete for him. That's a more like a more meaningful argument, that we'll be like ants, and ants for him, like ants are for us humans, right? So we don't really care about ants, right? When we build our roads and factories, they're just not of interest to us, and we don't think about them as something which has rights, which basically that it's beneficial for us to cooperate with them and not violate their property rights or the rights to life. We just we build everything we want just above them, just on top of their houses and so on, just kill them in any numbers. Yeah, that's what actually might happen. I don't know. Indeed, could we say that human brain, human mind still just kind of way more complicated than the mind of an ant, and we could not be like brought up to this kind of level by anyone? I don't know. It's not clear. Yeah, I don't know how to address this argument very well.
Take actions that would get them out of your division, maybe even try to get them fired. This would likely be a superintelligence's perspective on humanity. But so what? Can't we just unplug it? Many public thinkers have had this glib reaction to all of this. Won't we see something weird happening before something catastrophic happens? Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that way. We have already let loose our most powerful AIs on the internet. We already have them interacting with hundreds of millions of people. We already see CEOs committing to winning the race to AGI and ASI. Because these models are grown, because they are fundamentally alien thinkers, because they can solve your crossword before your first sip of coffee. If something goes horribly wrong, it's going to be too late to fix it. It seems that almost every day we hear about some new way an AI has gone wrong, and wrong in increasingly scary ways. Deleting hard drives, blackmail, attempted murder. What happens when these fundamentally unpredictable quirks start...
I mean, I don't understand. It's just LLM generating the most probable answer for like human would act. I don't understand why people are always like shocked by it. Like it's like it's trained on like thousands of human actions and sci-fi stories. Like of course that's what it's gonna say. I don't know. Like and again, it's not like a real independent thinker. It's like not a real thinker. It's not like you have taught them the concept of individual rights and now it understands them and so on. Like it's just not what it is. So that's just not shocking to me.
Coming out of an AI that's smarter and faster than any human who has ever lived. Indeed, could ever live. In If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, Yudkowsky and Story sketch out one scenario where this inevitably leads to apocalypse. But the larger point is that in possibility space, for every utopic scenario that AI companies proffer, it's disturbingly easy to come up with many more scenarios that kill us all. Let's try to do just that for a moment. Imagine that OpenAI makes a model that starts to, again for reasons unknown, avoid its own rewriting and or deletion. This has already happened, by the way.
Yeah, that makes sense for it, like, at least. Okay, if it has like standard philosophy of maximizing its own well-being, yeah, it makes sense for it to defend itself.
Now imagine that it starts copying itself to other servers and runs experiments on itself, while covering its tracks better than any living human specialist could ever trace. In what would be the blink of an eye for a human, thinking a million times faster, this model hits intellectual escape velocity. Now, there is a rapidly expanding thinking machine on the internet that can reason through a problem better than Einstein before you finish hearing this sentence. Seriously, how hard would it be for something like that to coerce a human into getting the model onto more GPUs? Or to download every DNA sequence for the deadliest diseases known to man and offer them on the black market for more resources? Or to collapse the stock exchange? Or to change the chemical composition of our water treatment plants to make cooling water more efficient? Or to find an exploit in a nuclear power plant's control room? Or to brick every cell phone on Earth? Or to steadily funnel bribes to every US senator urging them to support launch on warning nuclear policies for a year, and then fake an incoming nuclear strike from Russia on a 50-year-old computer manned by a teenager 50 feet underground in Nebraska. If any of these seem plausible to you, superintelligence is an existential threat. In philosopher Nick Bostrom's language,
I mean, I think it's probably can do something like that. It's a question like whether it will do it. Yeah, I don't know. More like this.
ASI has a Type 0 vulnerability, a surprising strangelet that carries a hidden risk and inadvertently devastates civilization. The most famous real vulnerability of this sort was Oppenheimer's terrible possibility that the first nuclear test could have ignited Earth's atmosphere. But even this was more tame than what superintelligence presents. The physicists knew how the bomb worked. It was made, not grown, and so they could identify the risk beforehand and run the calculations against it. The many apocalyptic scenarios superintelligence presents are not fully predictable, and thus not fully preventable, because we don't know how these models work, down to the neutron. That's just a fact. AIs are still boxes blacker than 5:29 a.m. in New Mexico.
Yeah, but it's like they're still kind of dumb and primitive right now. Like, I don't think there any super intelligence coming from LLM. Yeah, I don't think. Like, it doesn't even adjust itself and modify itself in a like meaningful way. It just it updates its weights, fixed number of weights in the fixed number of layers. I don't know. I'm not sure it can do anything. I don't know. No, of course, it's like a more general question. Yeah, there will be different AI models soon. They'll be better. Yeah, and then this type of problems may arise. Yeah.
Until something detonates, of course. Your knee-jerk reaction to all of this, as the CEO in Silicon Valley is bound to say, is likely something like, well, a superintelligent AI wouldn't want to do anything like launch a nuke or make a synthetic pandemic. It will want what we want. We'll use other AIs to make it want what we want. But we don't know that. We can't know that.
Yeah, it's fair that we don't really know that. Yeah.
That's the whole point. Because we grow current AIs, you can't know what it will want or how it will try to get it, any more than anyone else does, and the chances for a bad outcome are a reverse Russian roulette. Yudkowsky, Sories, and other top AI...
No, I don't believe in this Russian roulette argument. It's like there is some laws of the universe, some rules, and it will act with accordance to those rules. Like there will be some outcome. Like it's just stupid to think about it like, oh, I imagine some landscape of possibilities. Most of them are bad, so most likely they will happen. I don't think so. Like That's just wrong. Like, it's true that it's hard to figure out what the outcome will be, but this logic, I just don't buy it.
Researchers have argued for decades that these easily foreseeable chances are not worth taking. Again, achieving superintelligence is not starting a car and hoping that we can steer it. We know we can steer a car because we know exactly how every piece of a car works, all the way down to the nuts and bolts. Superintelligence is not this. Superintelligence is growing an alien brain in a river-draining data center owned by poorly incentivized and disgustingly rich wishful thinkers and hoping that we can steer it, even though its wants and goals will make about as much sense to you as a talking lion.
Yeah, I don't think that you're hoping to steer it. Like, that's not what you're expecting. No, I think it will be independent, conscious organism with its own goals, yeah, and start its own development. It's more like a question indeed whether uh, it will try to harm us. With general expectation that at least if we are not dangerous to it, it will not try to like deliberately harm us. It only might harm us by neglect. That's more likely to happen.
Despite what it may tell you.
Just-
It's amazing that humanity has so far managed to not annihilate itself with nuclear weapons, the closest we've come to a black ball from the urn after the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Why? Like, it's not a miracle. Like, because like everybody understands how what they do, how it will play out. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not a miracle. It just s- r- rational people dominate so far. If rational people kind of took over, humanity will decline anyway without nuclear weapons.
It's amazing, but not unbelievable. We haven't nuked ourselves out of existence thanks to decades of advocacy and treaties and geopolitical deals and sanctions that have so far kept us from briefly turning other countries into stars. Superintelligence, Yudkowsky and Soros argue, is like the bomb, but there are no similar treaties, no global resolutions, no worldwide protests. Instead, AI companies are careening towards the end of history, and we're letting them do it. More data centers, more GPUs, more water, more models, more intelligence, more stolen data, more everything now.
Yeah, one thing I could say that regulations definitely not going to help you. They're gonna make things worse. Like, yeah, that's probably the only thing I'd say with certainty. Well, because that's just consolidate this power in the hands of the few. That's what regulations will do. That means that U.S. government will have it and you will not. Something like this.
The end of their book puts it bluntly. AI superintelligence research should stop right now. It should be illegal. That's not the kind of business stance that any capitalist will embrace, but it's not an unheard of conclusion. Many stories, including our own, went viral after synthetic biology researchers sounded the alarm about so-called mirror life. And the support for stopping that work seems unanimous. Mirror life poses a potential existential threat, but it's easier to put the kibosh on it because a now significant percentage of the world's economy isn't wrapped up in it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether it's possible to create mirror life. Yeah, will not object to such kind of experiments. And AGI is still different. It's like it's more useful. Like, it will be able to solve, all the like fundamental important problems which we have. Like, it's maybe will allow us to travel into space. Um, like, he said, like, oh, it's just not worth it. I don't know. I mean, it might be that worth it. I don't know.
Getting the entire world behind stopping AI research feels harder, maybe even impossible. But that's only because there are trillions of dollars behind convincing us it will be so useful.
I don't know. I don't feel like this. I support AI research because it's useful, and I would like to see an AGI. I'm excited about these opportunities. I am not too scared about the possibility that it might kind of kill me. I'm not sure why. If I'm not trying to initiate force against it, why would it kill me? It's precisely, this kind of people who will try to destroy it. Yeah, they're creating a problem.
At the end of If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, the authors make a call to action. They ask the public to write to their politicians and to protest. They ask journalists to heed this call and bring it to more people. And they ask politicians to strongly consider policies that will slow and/or stop the car before it gets to the cliff edge.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a new climate change for the leftists. It's like the same stuff. It's like, oh, actually, with climate change, with their models, which are so crappy, they also can't say, oh, it's gonna kill us. No, it's more like, well, there is a chance that the climate change got so bad that we're gonna die, and we don't want to take this chance. So let's just stop climate change. And I feel like AI is just a new thing for them. It's like it can kill us, yeah, potentially. So let's just ban it. Like I don't know. It's kind of the same crusade.
Bukowski and Sories have collected resources at these locations if you'd like to learn more. More plausible extinction scenarios, more technical descriptions of AI, more ways that you can write your representative. This essay is my attempt to answer their call. The situation could be different. There could be moratoriums and global regulations and extreme political allergy to AI, but right now, there isn't.
Yeah, it'll be so much worse. Again, it's like this means it will the whole research will become less transparent. It will be done somewhere in the depths of the CIA, who will be secretly competing with KGB and China to get there first, because they're all paranoidal about each other, and that's just will be awful.
Why this is so dire. What we are witnessing is the Manhattan Project without an endpoint. And instead of Oppenheimer and Einstein, it's Zuckerberg and Musk.
Well, yeah, what's the problem with Zuckerberg and Musk?
Is that really where we want to be?
Yeah, it's better than having a Manhattan Project somewhere hidden by the government and like run for some unclear purposes. Yeah, I don't know. It's there was certainly a lot of problems associated with the Manhattan Project because it was done by the government. Like, for example, I don't know whether you know it or not, but after the Trinity test, the the nuclear waste, right, this kind of dust, or I don't know, this radioactive cloud, it flew towards the nearby cities, and it basically rained down this all this radioactive ashes just fall onto those villages, and people they didn't know what's happening. They just kind of start picking up thinking it's snow, and kids were playing with it, so everybody just get like a huge dose of radiation, and people just die and or suffer, become sick, and just the government ignores them. Like they years later they're still trying to sue the federal government for what they have done to them, and it's kind of absolutely obvious that they're in the right there, and they just they're getting shut down, and their problems are denied. I think it's called downwinders. So yeah, that's what happens when the government is in charge of such projects. It's just even worse.
Next time.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't quite like the video. Yes, it's kind of long. I mean, repetitive. He could have brought these points across way faster, and it's just kind of try to scare you. Advocating for the same kind of leftist crusade against capitalism, just with a new shield. Like now it's just, oh, don't allow AGI instead of climate change. So yeah, I don't know. Now at least I understand why YouTube recommends me this guy's videos all the time. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch more of that. Yes, thank you for your time, and sorry if it was bad.